So yes, but at the first question, in the last lecture we discussed why did Islam prescribe interest? Why interest is prohibited in Islam? Now that was this question. The last question was totally discussed logically, like the first question, which one we discuss, the why West economics justify why and how. Why and how West economics justified interests and how Islamic economists replied their justification. So that question was totally based on logic. The second question, the second part of riba, that is based on linguistically. That was totally based on language, Arabic language. So why did Islam prescribe interest? Why did Islam linguistically uh, prohibited interest? Why did Islam linguistically prohibit interest? So first, justifications from West economics. First, justification from Western economies. First one is some Western economists misunderstand the meaning of riba and the extent of its prohibition. They argue that the first argument is that the interest charged by traditional banks is not riba. That is referred in Quran and Sunnah. And the interest charged by traditional bank is not riba. And traditional bank charge interest, not they charge riba. So therefore, interest should not be banned. Interest should not be banned. Riba should be banned because it is mentioned in Quran and Sunnah. So there is no reason to ban interest. That is the first question with justifications. So Muslim economists argue that riba, as practiced in the time of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was only usury. Usury was the only form that was practically prohibited in the time of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. The meaning of usury is the excessive form of interest. Excessive form of interest. Thus, the prohibition does not apply to present day banking interest. Okay, beta. So this was the second argument. The one missing, that is the argument of West economists, not Muslim economists. That simply they say that usually was in practice in the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, time period. So prohibition should apply on usury, not current interest that is prevailed in current banking. Okay, but a third argument from Western economies, that is, Western economies argue that only compound interest is prohibited, not simple interest that is currently working in banking sector. The fourth argument Some argue that commercial interest is acceptable because it is for profitable purposes. Okay, so four questions are linguistically raised from Western economists. Again, first question is interest charged by traditional banks is not riba, that is mentioned in Quran. Second, usury was prohibited in the time of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, not interest. Third, compound interest is prohibited, not simple interest, that is prevailed in current banking. Fourth one, commercial interest is acceptable because that is for profitable purposes. Okay, now Islamic economy answer all these questions. They report that to answer all four questions, it is very important to understand the real meaning of riba and the extent of riba that is prohibited. That is very important. Understand the real meaning of riba and the extent of riba. So that is very important. Now we are going to understand. Linguistically, literally, the meaning of riba is excess, increase, addition. Okay, literally, the meaning of riba is excess, increase, or addition. And linguistically, that is famous in Arab. Arab use this word to denote the increase in a loan in exchange for time. Arab use this word to denote any increase in a loan in exchange for time. Thus, riba exists in a loan contract. Riba exists in a loan contract where lender charges an additional amount on the principal amount. In an exchange contract, lender charges additional commodity at unequal counter values. Again, thus riba exists. Riba is present. First one, आप ये बात अपने ज़हन में रखिएगा. Literally, रिबा के अरबिक मीनिंग क्या है? एक्सेस, इजाफा, ज्यादती, इंक्रीमेंट, एडिशन. और लिंग्विस्टिकली यानी अरब में ये वर्ड इस वक्त बोला जाता था. अरब ये वर्ड उस वक्त यूज करते थे जब वो किसी भी किस्म की इंक्रीज को डिनोट करते थे. किसमें? लोन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में, इन एक्सचेंज फॉर टाइम. जब स्पेसिफिक टाइम गुजरने के बाद कोई लोन रिटर्न नहीं करता था, देन आफ्टर अ स्पेसिफिक टाइम पीरियड वो मोस्टली 1 ईयर, आफ्टर 1 ईयर वो लोन पे एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट चार्ज करते थे. उस एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट को वो रिबा का नेम देते थे. और आज भी वही सिचुएशन एग्जिस्ट करती है। दस रिबा एग्जिस्ट इन अ लोन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। लोन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है बेटा जब आप फाइनेंशियल लोन्स लेते हैं, मनी की फॉर्म में लोन लेते हैं बैंक से, दैट इज लोन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। So riba exists in a loan contract where lender charges an additional amount on the principal amount. And in an exchange contract, what is exchange contract? Exchange contract in which when six types of foods which are mentioned in hadith made different types of foods and different other metals discuss की हुई हैं। उनमें सोना है, गोल्ड है, सिल्वर है, एंड साल्ट है, व्हीट है, एंड बार्ले है। बेटा इस किस्म की आइटम्स जिनका वेट हम कर सकते हैं, जिनको मेजर हम कर सकते हैं, अगर वो आपस एक्सचेंज करते हैं तो उनके एक्सचेंज में अगर आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप गोल्ड को गोल्ड के साथ एक्सचेंज करते हैं, अगर आप एक गोल्ड को गोल्ड के साथ एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट के साथ एक्सचेंज करते हैं, लाइक कदीर रहीम के साथ गोल्ड एक्सचेंज करता है, लाइक 1 ग्राम 1 ग्राम, लेकिन रहीम बोलता है कदीर को कि मेरा गोल्ड अच्छा है, आप मुझे कुछ अमाउंट ज्यादा एक्सचेंज करो, then that is the extra amount, that is the exchange contract between commodities, that is gold. So exchange contract, in an exchange contract where commodities are exchanged at unequal counter values, right? So these two types, first type is called rebound nasiya, second type is called rebound furth in Arabic. First one is loan contracts, second one is exchange contracts. Loan contract is rebound nasiya, exchange contract is rebound furth. अब बेटा अरेबिक में इसके मीनिंग इंक्रीमेंट, इजाफा, और अरब ये वर्ड कब यूज करते थे? जब कोई पर्सन किसी पर्सन से लोन लेता था और स्पेसिफिक टाइम गुजरने के बाद वो रीपे नहीं करता था, तो फिर स्पेसिफिक टाइम गुजरने के बाद जब वो पेमेंट करता था, देन प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट के साथ जो एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट होती थी इसको बोलते थे वो रिबा। तो आज अगरचे इंटरेस्ट के लिए कुछ स्पेसिफिक अरेबिक वर्ड तो इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं हुआ, लेकिन बेसिकली इंटरेस्ट रिबा ही है, क्योंकि स्पेसिफिक दैट इज अ लोन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। स्पेसिफिकली बेटा रिबा ही है कि 1 ईयर पास करने के बाद जो इन्वेस्टर है जब रीपेमेंट करता है वो प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट के साथ इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट भी करता है। जी बेटा समझ आ रही? तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर भी आपको मिल गया। जो बैंक इंटरेस्ट चार्ज करते हैं वो बेटा रिबा ही है। अगरचे कुरान एंड सुन्ना में मेंशन तो नहीं है एग्जैक्ट वर्ड इंटरेस्ट का, लेकिन स्पेसिफिक वर्ड अरबिक में इसका अवेलेबल नहीं है। तो इंटरेस्ट बेसिकली रिबा ही है, बिकॉज ये वही इंक्रीमेंट है जो लैंडर बोरोर से चार्ज करता है। तो इसलिए ये भी उसी तरह हराम है, प्रोहिबिटेड है, जिस तरह रिबा प्रोहिबिटेड है, यूजुअली प्रोहिबिटेड है। समझा रही बेटा बात की? तो उनका जो थर्ड क्वेश्चन है कमर्शियल, ओके, वन मोर नोट, रिबा की बेटा एक फॉर्म नहीं है, रिबा हैज डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स, 73 फॉर्म्स as reported in Ibn Majah. That is authentic book of hadith. 73 forms of riba are reported in hadith. So among these forms, riba nasiya, loan contract, exchange contract, also part of 73 forms. So there is no reason to separate interest from riba. Interest, compound interest, commercial interest, they are the part of riba, because in interest, compound interest, commercial interest, in all forms of riba, the lenders charges extra payments over the principal payments from borrowers. That is riba. That is an excess over the principal amount. There is no reason to declare this form of these forms of like interest, commercial interest, compound interest. No reason to declare these forms to be prohibited, to be haram. So beta, there is no reason. So अब रीजन क्या है हमारे पास? इंटरेस्ट को ट्रांसलेट नहीं किया गया रैबिक में, ठीक है? तो दैट अब हम ट्रांसलेट ना होने की वजह से हम कभी नहीं कह सकते कि इंटरेस्ट हलाल है, क्योंकि ये कुरान पाक में इसका जिक्र मौजूद नहीं, इसको मेंशन नहीं किया गया. यूजुअली दैट इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ रिबा. तो क्यों? यूजुअली के मीनिंग क्या है? एक्सेसिव फॉर्म ऑफ रिबा, बहुत ज्यादा. तो जो होली प्रॉफिट पीस बी अपॉन हिम आपके टाइम पीरियड में जो हराम था वो यूजुअली था, ठीक है? यूजुअली क्या था? एक्सेसिव फॉर्म ऑफ रिबा, लाइक जिसमें एक्स्ट्रा इंक्रीमेंट एग्जिस्ट करता है. सिंपल रिबा, एक्सेसिव फॉर्म ऑफ रिबा, दैट इज यूजुअली. ओके बेटा, सो ऑल फॉर्म्स ऑफ रिबा that is an increase in a loan contract, so they are haram. Similarly, we can report that interest, commercial interest, compound interest, all forms of riba are exactly an increment over the principal amount, therefore they are haram. Okay, so therefore in traditional banking there is no space of interest in Islamic countries. Okay beta, the next question, the commercial interest is because commercial interest should be acceptable because it is for profitable purpose. So it is very clear that is also a form of riba, so that is haram. Because profit is not sure. Profit is not sure in any kind of venture, because there are two kind of possibilities. There can be profit, there can be loss, because when there are two possibilities, profit and loss, then there is no reason to charge interest in the in the form of profits. If traditional bank insists interest as a part of profit, then they should also responsible any kind of loss, a share of loss in any venture. So hopefully we have done. So हमने 4 क्वेश्चन डिस्कस किए अबाउट रिबा, और हमने मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स को भी डिटेल में डिस्कस किया. So we are clear about the riba, why, how riba, how interest, how did interest, commercial interest, compound interest prohibited in, why and how they are prohibited in Islam. So when you are any question, why and how did Islam prohibited linguistically, logically, and religiously interest, commercial interest, then we should be clear. There is no space of interest in Islamic countries. Okay, better then we will discuss religiously very clear. Quran straightforwardly mention that riba is haram. That is reported in Quran and Sunnah. In Quran, it is mentioned that one ayah Quranic verse that is mentioned in Quran. Ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama al-riba. Allah Azza wa Jal declared transaction halal and prohibited interest, riba, all kind of access. So there is no justification, no reason to us to insist on interest and any kind of interest. So we should be clear, being a Muslim, because when this is Quranic order, so we should obey Quranic order. Okay. So if anybody asks questions logically, linguistically, then you should answer. We should answer, but we should have no doubt in the prohibition of interest. So that is this part of interest we have done. The next one is the evils of interest. Evils of interest. This one is very clear, very important. We will discuss these questions in such a way that why Islam so much emphasis on the prohibition of interest. Reasons we have done already, religiously, logically, we have done. But here we will discuss with respect to logic, and we will discuss the drawbacks of interest. So hopefully then nobody will ask any question about that. Why so much emphasis on the prohibition of interest? Anybody can ask the question about in another way, like explain the economic importance of prohibition of interest. This is the second angle of same question. Explain the economic importance of prohibition of interest. Okay, the first one is interest and investment. Mostly, the first one is interest and investment. Investment activities here. Investment activities are all based on interest. Mostly investors invest with cost benefit analysis. What is that? They invest by borrowing. They invest by borrowing from commercial banks, no doubt. Then commercial bank and investor, they make a contract. They make a contract. They agreed upon a specific interest rate. That is okay. Okay, now after a specific time period, after 1 year, investor will repay principal amount plus interest payments. This is the cost. Interest payment is the cost of investments, the cost of loans. Parallel to this cost, investor carry the benefits from this investment, that is marginal efficiency of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital means additional benefits from additional amounts of financial loans taken from commercial banks. For example, interest rate is annual interest payments paid to the commercial banks is, for example, that is 20%. And marginal efficiency of capital. That is, for example, that is 20,000, and interest payment paid to the virtual banks, that is 35,000. Here, revise again. Here, interest payments is 20,000. Interest payments are 20,000, and additional benefits from loans are 35,000. 35,000. Now, comparison started. 35,000 benefit, 20,000 is cost. Now, investor is in benefits. Investor will continue the investment. Will continue the investment until in the next part of investment, benefits will be 30,000 and in interest payment 20,000. Next part of investment on finance, next part of investment, he will pay, he will get benefits from financial loans 25,000 and interest payments 20,000. Till now, interest payments are less than benefits. Later on, after that, then he will get loans from banks. He will pay after 1 year 20,000. Maybe he will get benefits from additional payment, from additional financial loans, that is 20,000. Here he will stop further investment from banks. Later on, if he will make investment, then his benefits will be less than interest payments. That is cost. He will stop investment. That is the point of decision. That is the problematic for economic activities, because when he will stop investment, investment activities will be stopped. So that is the drawback of interest rate. Interest rate stop economic activity. If here Islamic banks introduce zero interest rate, so investment activities continue until the benefits are zero. That is not possible. So this is the reason Islam so much emphasize on the prohibition of interest. बेटा एक तरफ आपका इंटरेस्ट है और दूसरी तरफ इंटरेस्ट बेनिफिट्स। इन्वेस्टमेंट बेनिफिट्स आपको कितने मिलते हैं, आप उसको कंपैरिजन करेंगे इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट के साथ। उस वक्त तक आप इन्वेस्टमेंट करते रहेंगे जब तक इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स कॉस्ट बेनिफिट्स की इक्वल हो जाते, उसके बाद फर्दर इन्वेस्टमेंट स्टॉप हो जाएगी। होपफुली you got the